There are moments in life when heaven leans closer to the earth, when the unseen world begins to move things in the seen world, and when God begins to release blessings that were prepared long before you ever prayed for them. Today is one of those moments. There is a divine shift happening in your favor. And whether you feel it or not, God is releasing money you never saw coming. Not because of your strength, not because of your strategy, but because of His grace, His timing, and His supernatural care for you. For too long you have carried the weight of lack, the burden of worry, and the pressure of trying to make everything work on your own. But the God who multiplies, the God who provides, the God who opens rivers in the desert has already gone ahead of you. He is not limited by your job, your background, your education, or your past. When He decides to bless you, no system can block you, no person can stop you, and no circumstance can limit you. He is about to surprise you with abundance that does not make sense to the natural mind. When God releases supernatural provision, it is not limited by the ordinary flow of life. It doesn't come through the predictable systems you are used to. It comes through channels that only heaven can open. Divine provision means that God is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot see, arranging resources, favor, and opportunities that your own strength could never create. Many people think that blessings only come through hard work, planning, or human connections, but there are moments when God bypasses every natural step and brings something into your life that is purely the result of His grace. This kind of provision is not earned, it is released. There are seasons in your life when you feel like you have done everything you can. You worked, you prayed, you pushed, you believed, and still the breakthrough did not come. But this is exactly the place where supernatural provision begins. God waits until your hands are empty so He can fill them with something only He can give. He steps in when you have reached the end of your ability so that you will know the blessing is not your creation, it is His miracle. When God releases provision, it carries a signature that no human can duplicate. It comes with peace, with perfect timing, and with a sense that something greater than you has moved in your favor. Many people fear lack because they believe they are the only ones responsible for their survival. But when you understand supernatural provision, you realize that God is the source and everything else is just a channel. Jobs change, economies shift, people come and go, but God's supply remains constant. He can move someone's heart to bless you. He can open a door you weren't even knocking on. He can turn an impossible situation into a testimony overnight. What looks like sudden breakthroughs are actually the results of God's long-prepared plans unfolding in your life. Supernatural provision also teaches you to trust God beyond what you see. Even when the bank account doesn't match your faith, even when resources are low, even when circumstances look tight, you hold on to the truth that God is already working. Every seed you sow, every prayer you whispered, every moment of faith you kept alive is being answered through a release you could never have produced yourself. And when it comes, it always comes in a way that reminds you this is not ordinary, this is divine. When God prepares abundance for your life, it is not something that can be hindered or delayed by human limitations. What He ordains becomes unstoppable. People may try to hold you back, systems may try to restrict you, circumstances may try to discourage you, but none of these have authority over what God has already released in the spiritual realm. Divine abundance is not dependent on your environment, it is dependent on God's will. When He says it is your time to rise, everything around you must eventually align with that word. You are not fighting for provision. Provision is already written into your destiny. There are moments when you look at your situation and see barriers everywhere. Maybe your job is limited, maybe your finances seem stuck, maybe opportunities are few, or maybe people underestimate you. But heaven does not operate according to earthly limitations. God can lift you from a place of obscurity to a place of honor without asking anyone for permission. He does not need a committee to approve your blessing. He does not need the economy to be strong. He does not need people to support you. When God decides to increase you, the blessing pushes through every wall. This is why no person can block God's abundance for your life. Even if someone tries to close a door, God can open a better one. Even if someone refuses to help you, God can raise someone else who will. Even if someone speaks against you, God's favor will speak louder. You may have experienced betrayal, rejection, or disappointment, but none of that disqualifies you from what God has prepared. In fact, sometimes He allows opposition to reveal His power. When the blessing arrives, despite the resistance, you will know it came from Him. Divine abundance also moves beyond the timing you imagined. You might think you are late, behind, or forgotten, but God never misses His moment. What seems delayed to you is perfectly on schedule to Him. Behind the scenes, He arranges opportunities, aligns people, and prepares circumstances so that everything unfolds in the exact moment it was meant to. When abundance comes, it comes suddenly, overwhelmingly, and undeniably. And when it does, you realize that your life is not defined by what others can give you, but by what God has already ordained for you. His abundance does not just meet needs. It lifts you, strengthens you, and places you in a position where you recognize that what He sends cannot be blocked, limited, or stopped by anything on earth. There are seasons when everything seems quiet, as if nothing is moving, nothing is changing, and your life is stuck in the same place. But what you cannot see is that God is aligning opportunities behind the scenes. Opportunities that will appear suddenly, without warning, and without effort on your part. These are not ordinary chances. They are divine setups. They are doors you did not knock on, paths you did not search for, and blessings that arrive so unexpectedly that you will know only God could have orchestrated them. When financial breakthroughs come from His hand, they carry a supernatural timing that transforms your situation instantly. Often, before these doors open, you walk through seasons of limitation. You experience lack, delays, or closed doors that make you wonder if anything will ever shift. But these seasons are not evidence of God's absence. They are preparation. When God is planning something greater, He hides it until the perfect moment. Just like a seed grows underground before breaking through the soil, your breakthrough grows in silence before revealing itself in your life. And when it finally shows up, it doesn't come gradually, it comes suddenly, like a flood of unexpected provision. These moments of divine alignment bring opportunities that no human being could have created for you. God can cause someone to remember your name at the right time. He can turn small idea into a significant source of income. He can place you in the right room at the right moment with the right people who open doors you didn't even know existed. The breakthroughs He releases carry an ease that human effort cannot produce. What you struggled for in the past, God will make effortless in your new season. Your part is to stay expectant, even when things look quiet, even when nothing seems to be happening. Trust that heaven is moving. Trust that every step you take in faith is positioning you for what God is preparing. Sometimes the blessing comes through a new connection. Sometimes it comes through a changed circumstance. Sometimes it comes through an idea that enters your mind like a whisper from God. Whatever the channel may be, the source is always Him. When the breakthrough finally arrives, it will not just meet your need, it will exceed your expectation. It will shift your life in ways you didn't plan for. And as you step into these unexpected doors and sudden opportunities, you will understand that God was aligning everything long before you ever prayed for it. When God decides to send help, it does not come slowly or partially. It comes with divine accuracy and perfect timing. You may not see anything changing on the surface, but in the spiritual realm, God is already moving people, rearranging circumstances, and positioning resources to meet your need. Help can arrive through a person you least expect, a conversation that opens a door, or a sudden idea that brings clarity. God uses both the extraordinary and the ordinary to deliver the help He has ordained. You might think you are alone, but heaven is already responding to your situation, preparing assistance that is uniquely tailored to what you are facing. There are moments in life when you feel overwhelmed. Burdens are heavy, responsibilities grow, and pressure seems endless. In those moments, it's easy to think that you have to handle everything by yourself. But God never intended for you to carry life alone. When He sends help, it brings relief where you had stress, solutions where you had confusion, and peace where you had fear. This help may come in the form of a person who enters your life with wisdom, compassion, or support exactly when you need it the most. It may come through an unexpected opportunity that lifts your finances. It may come through a message, a dream, or a moment of insight that shifts your direction. The beauty of divine help is that it arrives at the perfect moment, never too early and never too late. What seems delayed to you is perfectly timed to God. Sometimes He allows certain struggles to continue so that when help finally arrives, you understand its value deeply. Other times, He sends help so quickly that you are left amazed, recognizing that He intervened directly. But in every case, His help is intentional. It's not random, not accidental, not coincidental. It's heaven stepping into your situation. Often, the help God sends does more than assist you. It elevates you. It connects you to people who carry influence, opens doors you couldn't open alone, or positions you in environments meant for your growth. God's help carries purpose. He doesn't just rescue you, He advances you. What you thought was simply support becomes a stepping stone to a new season. And even when you don't see anything happening, God is working through hidden channels. Someone is thinking about you. Someone is preparing an opportunity. Someone is being moved by God to bless you, support you, or speak on your behalf. Help is already on its way, and it will reach you at the exact moment you need it most. Every delay you have experienced, every closed door that frustrated you, and every setback that made you question your path has been part of a divine strategy that you could not see at the time. God does not waste seasons. What felt like rejection was often protection. What felt like a dead end was actually a divine redirection. You may have cried, questioned, and wondered why things happened the way they did. But looking back, you will realize that every difficult moment was shaping you, positioning you, and preparing you for something greater than you imagined. Many times, breakthroughs are not denied. They are simply delayed so that the blessing arrives at the right moment. When you have the maturity to handle it, the wisdom to value it, and the strength to sustain it. If you had received certain opportunities earlier, you might not have been ready. If certain people had stayed in your life, they might have distracted you or limited your growth. If certain doors had opened too soon, you might have settled for less than what God intended. So God allows temporary delays to make room for permanent blessings. When you go through a setback, you often feel like nothing good can come from it. But God uses those very moments as the foundation of future miracles. The pain you endured becomes the strength you carry. The patience you learn becomes the key to your next level. The faith you developed during silent seasons becomes the force that unlocks your breakthrough. What you thought was the end was actually the beginning of a new season designed specifically for your elevation. As you step into what God has prepared, you will begin to understand that every loss was making room for something better. Every disappointment was guiding you away from what was not meant for you. Every unanswered prayer was leading you to a greater answer. God's plan was working even when you felt nothing happening. His timing was perfect even when you felt forgotten. And when the blessing finally appears, when the breakthrough arrives, when the opportunity opens, when abundance flows, you will not be confused about its source. You will know that it came through divine orchestration. You will see how every challenge was necessary and how every delay carried a purpose. The testimony that emerges from this season will be marked by a deep awareness that God was guiding every step. Even in the moments that felt the hardest, you are stepping into a season where everything begins to align, not by your effort, but by divine orchestration. This is the moment when what you have prayed for, waited for, and hoped for finally starts manifesting in visible ways. You may not feel the shift at first, but the atmosphere around your life has already changed. There is a new flow of provision, a new level of confidence, and a fresh wave of divine supply moving toward you. When God begins a season, it affects everything connected to you. Doors open with ease, ideas flow with clarity, and opportunities seem to find you rather than you chasing them. This is not coincidence. It is the evidence that your breakthrough is already in motion. Sometimes you sense this shift before you see it. You feel a quiet peace that makes no sense. You feel energy returning, hope rising, and strength growing inside you. These are signs that God is preparing you to receive what He has already released. It is like a spiritual awakening. Your faith becomes sharper, your expectations become stronger, and suddenly you know deep in your heart that something good is coming. This inner preparation is not emotional, it is spiritual. It is the way God aligns your heart with the blessing He is sending. As this new season unfolds, you will notice that things that used to be difficult begin to become easy. The places where you struggled before will no longer drain you. The confusion that clouded your mind will clear. The burdens you carried will lift. This is because divine supply does more than meet your needs. It transforms your environment. It brings solutions, clarity, and movement where there was stagnation. It brings people who help you, situations that favor you, and opportunities that elevate you. When God releases abundance, it affects every area of your life. Not just your finances. You will also find yourself stepping into a confidence that you did not have before. Not a confidence in your own strength, but in God's faithfulness. You will walk with a new posture because you know that heaven is backing you. You will speak with boldness because you understand that provision is already on the way. You will make decisions with clarity because you sense God guiding you. This confidence is not arrogance, it is trust. Trust that God is moving, trust that things are changing, trust that your breakthrough is closer than it has ever been. And as this season unfolds more and more, you will realize that you are no longer striving, you are receiving, you are no longer waiting, you are walking into what God prepared. The shift is real, the supply is flowing, and the abundance is unfolding step by step. Your life is entering a new chapter, and the evidence of divine provision will become more visible with every passing day.